Now, hello guys, welcome to the third part of the inventory management series. Now, as a reminder, the first video was about the theoretical application of inventory management. The second part was actually the second, the third, and the part will be about calculation. So the first part was about calculation on the basic economic model. Now, in this video here, what we're going to do is the production model. So if we need to come back to the first slide that I used before to explain to you where we are right now, if we need to follow our map, it's more like we are on this part here. So the first video was an introduction to everything. The second video was the basic economic model that we did in the second video. Now we're going to do the POQ, the production or the quantity model, and the last video will be about the quantity discount model. So without taking much of your time, let's start with an exercise about the POQ. So an example that we have right now is about Max manufacturing produces a product for which the annual demand is 10,000. Now, as I said, whenever in the research, we need first of all, since it's in a form of a case study, so we need to take down the data. We need to summarize everything. So they're talking about the demand, which is 10,000. So remember, this is the big D because they're talking about the annual demand already. So we have a big D of 1,000 units, 10,000 units. Then after that, they say that the production average is 100 per day. So since we're talking about this, that means that this is the small p, which will be the daily production. So the small p is going to be equal to 100 units per day. Then after that, what we have is, how to call it, while the demand is 40 per day. So now this one is a small d because it, how do you call it, it's the daily demand. So small d is going to be equal to 40 units per day. Now here we also have per day like this. Now after, they say that the holding costs are $2 per unit. Now the holding cost in this case here, they say is $2. So we have H that is equal to $2. As I said again, let's keep it in rand for a good understanding. Let's keep all the price here in rand. So the holding cost is going to be equal to 2 rand per unit per year. Let's keep it like this. Then after the holding costs, they say also that we have the setup cost that is equal to 200 rand. So this is our setup cost here, 200 rand per year. So we have our S that is equal to 200 rand per year. Now they say that if they wish, they replaces the company. If they wish to produce this product in economic batches, now what size should the batch be? What is the maximum inventory level? How many order cycle are there per year? And then how much does the company does management of this good in inventory cost? So now we have almost like 4 questions that we need to find out of 5, I think. The first one is the size of the batch. So by the size, what they mean is they want us to find Q, because they want to know that every time that we make, how many units are we going to order. That means Q. Now the second is the maximum inventory level. Now this one is a formula that I didn't really give in my first presentation about the slide and a formula, but we're going to do it now because it's something that it's better when it comes in a form of a question. And then the third one is how many order cycle are there per year. So the order cycle here that are going to be is the n that we need to find. Like we're going to make it the number of orders between bracket. Then lastly, they say how much does the management of this good in inventory cost each year. So they want us to know how much cost that we need to pay every year to keep that inventory or that product in stock, which leads back to what we need to find the TC. So that means what we need to find first of all is Q. After Q, we're going to find the maximum inventory, and after the maximum inventory, we find N, and after N, we are going to find TC, which is the total cost. Now, so we're going to start from insert part break. Yeah, so this way we start with the POQ, the production or the quantity model. So the first thing that we need to find is Q. Now first of all, we need to take down the data. These are the data that we're going to use. And then yeah, These are the data. Now from that, the first thing that is required for us is to find Q. So I'm going to work out Q in green so that we are on the same level, so that you guys don't get lost. So we need to find Q. Now the formula that we are going to use for Q when it comes to my previous slide is this one here for the POQ. This is the formula that you're supposed to use. This one here, the square root of 2ds divided by h times 1 minus and so on. So when I insert the formula and so on, the reason that I put my formula so it's for you to know what we're doing, what we are going to now. So with the square root, and then we insert a fraction. So is 2 multiplied by ds, and then we multiply by h, and then we open this, which is we're gonna use 1 plus, so where's the formula again? Sorry, it's 1 minus, then we open the bracket, which is the small d divided by the small p, like this, and then we close. Now this is the formula that we'll be using to solve the Q here. So if we need to replace everything by its value, we have a D that is 10,000 units, and then we have a S that has a value of 200 rand, and then we have an H that has a value of 2, and then we have 1 minus a D that has a value of 40, and then we have a P that has a value of 100 unit. Now based on that, we need to put everything into our calculator, which gives us 2 times 100 times 200, and then we multiply by 2, 1 minus 4.40 divided by 100, like this. Yeah, so the cost that we get approximately 1,825.74. Remember, this one is the unit, as the number of units that we need to order. Again, we can say that it's approximately 1,826 units. Now this is Q. The question we wanted us to first of all find Q, which is the size that need to be used. This is what we got. Now we need to find the maximum inventory level. Now the maximum inventory level formula, as I say, so I'm going to use another color for Q. Let me use blue. I hope it's not really, yeah. So we're going to find for the maximum inventory. Now based on the formula inventory, that we have, we are going to find the Q with the formula that we use for the holding cost. Now, based on my slide, this is the formula that we need to use for the holding cost. So it's Q divided by 2, and then we multiply by 1 minus D divided by P, and then H. So to find the maximum inventory, remember that whatever we have here, Q divided by 2 and so on, this part here is, how do you call it? This is the average inventory. So it is the maximum inventory that we divided by 2. So having said that, it means that the maximum inventory is Q that we multiply by by 1 minus, let me put it like this. So by 1 minus, I'll open my bracket, D divide small d divided by P, like this. So this is how we found the maximum inventory. So whatever we have in the formula is the same formula here, but it is divided by 2. That's why we have Q over 2 and we multiply by H. That one is when you found the maximum, where is it? The maximum inventory. So this formula contains already the maximum inventory, as I'm repeating myself. So the maximum inventory is Q multiplied by 1 minus, you open the bracket, D divided by P, which gives you the maximum inventory. So when we divide by 2, what we are going to get is the average inventory. So yeah, now based on this, we are going to use this. So we place the formulas, the values into our formulas. Sorry, this, yeah. So what we're going to get, the value of Q is the new value that we got of 1825.74, and then we have 1 minus D. D is 40, and then P is 100. Generally, you will realize that the small d is always lesser than the big than the P, because D is the demand and P is the production. Obviously, we assume that we produce more than what is demanded. Now in this case here, we get 1825,74 that we multiply by 1 minus, you open the bracket, 40 divided by 100, and then close. Now the value that you get is an approximative value of 1095,45 unit. Remember this was an inventory. So let me check again, 1825,74 that we multiply by 1 minus 40 divided by 100. So yeah, whatever we get here is the maximum inventory. And if we got already the maximum inventory, and if it asks for us to find the average inventory, we just need to take this value here and we divide it by 2. So you can just know this formula here, you get the final answer and you divide it by 2 depending on the exercise. Now next, what we got is like we got the maximum inventory. That means now we need to find here. They say how many order cycles are there per year. So the order cycle here, what we need to do is to find n. So let me make it in red. So what we need to do is to find n, and based on what we need to do to find n, I think it was d divided by q. Yeah. So now the value of n, the formula for n really doesn't matter which method we are using. Generally it's the same, d divided by q. Now in our case here, we got a value of d that is already 10,000 units. And then we need to divide by q. Q is already there, which is 1825,74. This, so we have 10,000 divided by 1825,74. 10,000, 1825,74. So we get an average of 5,47, which is gonna give us 5,48. So here we're gonna make it like orders per year. That means the first year, let me put it in this case here. So the first year we're gonna make an order. Let's say this is the order of the number of units. This number is gonna be Q. We don't know how many. After it's done, we make the second order of the same amount of units. After it's done, we make the second order of the same unit, and so on and so on. Let's say like this. This dot here represents the number of units that we're gonna make, but they are not really the same. So we'll assume that this one we're gonna make how many dot? Q dot. Here it's Q. Here it's Q. Q and Q. Now we have 5 Qs. 1, 2, yeah. That means that we're gonna make 5 orders like this, but it's not really 5 on the dot. That means we're gonna make also some other value here, because this one is an approximation sample like that. In short, this is what it means. So we're gonna make 5 times we're gonna order how many units, and the value of Q that we found. So this is how we found Q here. Now we're done with this part here. Now the final question is how much does management of this good in inventory cost the firm each year? So what we need to find in this case here is to find TC, which is the total cost. Let me give it another color. Let me keep this one here. So we need to find TC. TC, as I say, is the annual setup cost plus the annual holding cost. Now, for the purpose of this question here, I'm going to calculate the annual cost with another color so that you guys don't get lost. And then I'll give it gray. And then the annual holding cost, I'm going to use purple. Yeah. So the annual here we start with an annual holding cost. Let me give it, yeah, I think that was the annual holding cost. So we have annual setup costs. So the annual setup cost, the formula is still the same, which is D times S, and then we divide by Q, unless I'm mistaken. Because I know it's the same formula that we use, it's the only formula that doesn't change. D divided by S, D multiplied by S divided by Q. Yeah, so the value of D that we already have is 10,000 units. And then we multiply by S, which is the setup cost that is given of 200. And then we divide by Q, which is 1825,74. So 1825,74, yeah. So we have 10,000, we multiply by 200, we get a value that we divide by 1825,74, and we get a value of 1095,44,6, which is going to lead us to 45. But now remember that this is a cost, so the number of units we're gonna keep it like rent. So this is the setup cost. Let me put it like this: the annual cost. I mean, now what we need to find to calculate again is gonna be the annual holding cost. Now the annual holding cost in this case here, this is the only formula that really changed in this calculation for the POQ compared to the EOQ. So it's the formula itself. Remember, so the formula in this case here will be Q that we divide by 2, that we are going to multiply by 1 minus, you open your bracket, small d divide by small p, close, and then we multiply everything by h like this. So this is even the formula that is already given here. So the annual holding cost is Q divided by 2 multiplied by 1 minus D divided by P, and then you got H. So what we do is like when I replace the values that are here, yeah. So the value of Q that we already got was 1825,74. And then we're going to divide it by 2 multiplied by 1 minus dp. The value of d, small d, was 40, and then p was 100. I think where is our p? Yeah, 100 units. And then the value of h is 2 rand. So we replace everything, which is giving us 1825,74, that we divide by 2, and we multiply by 1 minus 40 divided by 100, and then we got 1 minus 40 divided by 100. Yeah, we got something like that we multiply by 2, which is our h. So we have 1095,44. So again, as I said, we realize that generally the holding cost, the annual setup cost and the annual holding costs are generally the same. It's not a principle whereby everything must be the same. Sometimes it can, sometimes it won't. So, but generally when it is, you know that you're on the right track already. So now we come back to our TC. TC, remember the formula was about taking the annual setup cost plus the annual holding cost. This is our annual setup cost that we are going to add with our annual holding cost here. So we have 1095,45 plus 1095,44. And then the value that we get is 2190,89. So this is how we found our total cost. So that means that if the company wants to keep this product here, they'll have to pay this cost here at the end of their 2190,89 here. And then I don't know, is there a third question? No, there are no third question. So which means that we're done with this question here and so on. So you will realize that to calculation about this production or the quantity production order quantity. So you will realize that at the end of the day, calculation about this inventory thing is only knowing the formula. So you need to know the formula, which formula to use, how to use it, and then you will be fine. Again, I'm really sorry for the quality of the sound. As I said, since our first video, I'm having a problem with my computer. I really hope that I'm gonna fix it next time that we go to another chapter. So please don't forget to subscribe to the page down there, and then whenever you have a new video, you guys will be updated. So thank you so much. If there's anything that you don't understand, you can write something on the comment, and then I'm here to answer to all your concerns. So thank you so much again, and see you next time.